Welcome to the What's That Name podcast.
Hey!
I am joined today with my co-host Darby L. Arson.
That's close enough.
So the whole concept of this podcast was to kind of, in my mind at least, reconnect with some friends and make more friends because we both have separate pools of friends since we live in two different areas. We go to two different colleges, or we used to. So now the whole concept is to kind of like really dig into each other's friends, not like harass them or anything, or at least not at first. We should be polite at first. But eventually, so the first episode is just kind of us interviewing each other to kind of warm up. So this is kind of like episode 0. So, I kind of really procrastinated and didn't write down any questions. Darby, did you write any questions down? I feel like you've done the same thing.
You know what? I'm going to pretend as hard as I can that I did write questions down.
Oh, genius.
And that I am prepared.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're so prepared, you can start first.
I gave it away that I'm not prepared.
Oh, no. I totally believe that you were prepared. So you can start first if you have any questions.
All right. Let me just get my notebook, my notes of questions out here that I wrote down.
Okay. That's good, actually.
All right.
Man.
Let's see.
Stalling on the first
Why
episode.
do you... Wait. Hold up.
All right. No. Go.
Let me ask the question.
Okay. Go for it.
That's what we're doing.
I don't want to stop.
I'm going?
Yeah, you're good.
What? Why the fuck do you live in Florida?
Oh. Ooh. The hard balls are coming first. I live in Florida. At first, I moved for school. Full Sail University, which to this day I don't regret because I met some amazing people and some of my best friends, but I do regret financially because it has ruined me. But
yeah,
I mean, like, I gotta say, I did learn a lot. I'm happy with what I learned, and at least I didn't go to school for something that I didn't find interesting, like all of high school was for me. So, I don't know.
Right.
It worked in that aspect, but I moved to Florida again. For people who didn't know, I moved back to Iowa for like a good 6 months. I think I saw Darby like 3 times. Like maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think about 3 times.
For like an hour apiece.
Yeah, and then I moved back because I had some friends here that wanted to start a business, but what they didn't tell me was that they were always busy and never had any time to put into the business, at least so far. I mean, we've worked a little bit, but not enough as much as we should have. So yeah, no, it's been a rough ride, to be completely honest. I'm trying to find work in my field, but in all reality, I'll probably be applying to a pizza delivery store later today. So
sounds good.
Yeah.
Wait, which one? Is it like a good pizza delivery
Oh,
store?
you're gonna love this, Darby. It's Domino's.
Ooh.
I know that, if I remember correctly, that used to be your favorite.
No. That's incorrect.
Okay, moving on.
That's pretty good.
I don't give a shit about your pizza preferences, I suppose. I'll move on for the next question here. So you are skilled in many different areas, in my mind at least, with graphic design and with music, a lot of different things, to be completely honest. I'm pretty jealous. So I have to know, if you had to choose, like if you had the perfect life, would you rather live comfortably as a musician or comfortably as a graphic artist or graphic design artist?
God. See, this is like a thing I don't like thinking about. See, if I had to choose like one over the other, I would probably say, oh, God dang, this is so hard.
I know, I was like...
Probably, I would probably go with graphic design, honestly, just
Really?
because it's so, like, you can do it like anywhere, and you can spend like 10 minutes on something and make like a shit ton of money off of it if you do it right, and the client doesn't even really need to know that.
Is that what you did with mine? My logo?
No, I spent probably more time on it than I should have, trying to make it right and everything. And
Ooh.
the worst part was like saving the files, because I don't know if I should say it, maybe cut this part out here, but your fucking website lady does not know what the hell's going on with the world. So
I want to actually I'm going to make the volume on that like 5 times louder than what it originally was.
Your website lady doesn't know what's going on with the world.
What did she say?
So like, yeah.
No, I'm curious now.
No, she just doesn't like. she didn't know what sizes she needed me to save shit as. She's just, I don't know. I just use whatever.
I think in her
It's like,
defense,
okay,
I
well.
will say this in her defense, that a lot of the times from what she gets from most clients, they just send her random shit and she just works with it. I don't think she has a preference, which is why she can. I mean, if I were in your shoes, I would say the same thing though. I'd be like, because when I was texting her, I literally just didn't even text her back. I just screenshotted what she sent because I was like, fuck this day. This is too much for me.
Yeah.
So background of what we're talking about, just in case if anyone has no idea, which I'm sure you don't. But one of my friends from here in Florida, Mr. Douglas, decided to start kind of an internet business called Rainman Calls, and we were creating a logo for that. And he also has a website going on because we have a mutual friend that's a website designer, and she needed the logo in multiple different sizes, large, medium, small. But of course, she couldn't tell us what sizes she needed, so it was such a difficult process to really get that moving. But we did finish it. I have yet to send him the files though because of my great sense of procrastination. So yeah, I'm actually really interested that you picked graphic design though.
Yeah, I have a really quick follow-up question for what you were just saying.
Yeah.
What is Ringman supposed to be like? Wingman?
I think
is that
so.
what the thing is there?
I think because like you know how like I have my thing and then like you're always a part of it but you don't know what's going on, like this podcast.
Yeah.
That's what I am. On Doug's Rainman Calls. I just know people, and then so I was like, well, I know a great graphic designer or whatever you want to call yourself. Is graphic designer the best term for the?
Probably.
Okay. Because I mean, like I
just prefer a guy who likes making cool shit.
I like that. Did you see me like all your shit on Facebook, on your Facebook page?
I did. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you should have. I should have shared it actually. Now that I think about it. Hey, actually, plug yourself real quick, just in case anyone's curious.
Hey, on Facebook.com, we got, if you look up Electric Pine Design Company, go ahead, give that a like. All three of you who are listening to this.
This may be the biggest podcast in the world one day. You never know.
That'd be sweet.
I
could quit everything.
Yeah, do that. Actually, just do it now. Just prepare.
Yeah, I'm calling my work up right now.
Cool. Honestly, though, let me jump back to your logo. Electric Pine Design. First of all, I want to say I love that it rhymes. And on top of that, I love how the logo actually looks. It's really kind of cool.
Oh,
I wish I could show things, but I can't because podcast. But
hey, that's another reason for people to go look it up.
Yeah, I'll put links in the description of whenever we upload and shit.
Yeah, working on a website right now too, so maybe by the time this goes up, I'll have that finished.
Hey, you know what's really cool though? I have a website designer friend that you actually know her.
Hey,
it's the girl that didn't know what the fuck she was doing for Doug's design. Do you not get my joke right now? I'm recommending Emily, the girl.
No, I know. I thought you meant like I've met her in real life before.
No.
I was like, what?
I mean, like I do know multiple website designers, but I think Riley actually dabbles in website design as well. But I know she does more logos, if anything.
Yeah. She went to actual school, so.
Yeah, well, you technically did, just not for. I thought you started off as design. Semester? I was gonna say, so you did do a semester of it. Did you?
Yeah.
I guess so. Here's a good question. So, do you feel like the amount of time you spent in school was worth what you learned?
Hell no.
So, like, what exactly did they like teach you?
So, like, basically, the whole first semester that I spent there was learning how the programs kind of worked, which I already knew how they worked.
What programs?
For the most part, like Illustrator and like Photoshop. I guess the only one that I didn't know how to use very well was InDesign, which is like used for like layouts of like books and magazines and stuff mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but other than that, I pretty much already knew everything they were teaching, and to be quite honest, I think I mostly stopped going for that because one of the instructors was a total douchebag. So.
Ooh, really?
Well, very full of himself. But, I don't want to get all negative here.
I mean, he lives in Iowa. I mean, how much... I feel like he can't be doing that great in life. Not that, like, you... Yeah. I mean, like, in that field. Like, I absolutely love Iowa, and I'd love to live there myself. But, like, in that field, it doesn't seem like it's very prevalent in Iowa. I could be wrong, I guess. I don't know.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
You'd be surprised. Yeah, I just here's how I base people's success, or what I think how successful they are. Are they 40 and own a new MacBook? Yes. Do they have a house? Yes. Okay, they're good.
So they're good to go. That's your dream, is to
Yeah.
be 40, own a house, and a new MacBook.
I'm a simple man.
I see that. I remember specifically in high school we had to write a paper, and yours was called the American Dream. And do you remember that?
I might have repressed this memory for some reason.
I was Mrs. Burchett's class, which is our English teacher. And I specifically remember you writing, and you had to read a paper out loud in front of the class, and yours was called the American Dream. I'm so surprised I know this and you don't. But the whole concept of the paper was just being happy with having the bare essentials and not being miserable, not having everything you could ever want. Which I really kind of spoke to me. I was like, that's interesting, because a lot of people are like, you need this, this, and this, and you're like, I just want a simple house and someone that loves me. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty crazy. I like that.
You see, I said that, and that was probably what year was this? How long ago in high school?
I don't even know. I think it was like probably 11th or 10th grade. I'm pretty sure it wasn't our senior year, because I didn't do shit senior year.
Well, my favorite band in 10th grade was also Asking Alexandria, so a lot of my views have probably changed quite a bit. So.
No, not Asking Alexandria. I can't trust anything you say now. I could have swore it was like A Day to Remember, which I was purely on board for.
Dude, I was super, I don't know, I was into all kinds of shit.
I know.
Like that. I think that was probably the one I listened to. If you went back, on an iTunes thing, or my Zune back in the day, check that out. That probably would have been the top played band on there was Asking, and now I listen to it and I'm just cringe.
Do you? I don't blame you. I cringed all the time though, so
Yeah.
I just hate that band. I can't. There's Someone Somewhere was the only song I liked, and now it's I still haven't listened to that in years.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's actually horrible. So I guess
it's actually not good.
This is a kind of a cool segue to my next question, but so every time we start talking again randomly, every 4 or 5 months, which I'm trying to change with this podcast, we always kind of mention what we're listening to musically. And I've seemed to more stuck in my scene of music, while you have reached out to the abyss of genres that are unlabeled in my mind. I'm sure they're actually labeled, but if you were to show me the music you listen to and you were to ask me what genre of music would it be, I would have absolutely no idea. I would have zero idea what genre. So how did someone that listens to Asking Alexandria jump all the way to the music you listen to now?
You just get bored, you start thinking well, there's gotta be something else to listen to, or you talk to someone and they show you something, and it just kind of branches off into other shit. I guess that's the most of it. I don't know.
What do you enjoy about the newer music you listen to, from the ones I'm referencing?
Oh shit. What do you mean? Which ones? I've listened to.
I'm not sure. I forget what they're called. I could pull them up on Facebook, but I figured you would just know what ones you were talking about. Because when I listened to them, they were. Usually, I'm pretty good about remembering band names. I couldn't tell you what it was called, but I can say that it was very confusing to me, and I didn't know. Because I'm when I listen to music, seriously, I'm in the car going 65 down the road, fucking rocking out to, I don't know, whatever it is that day, some pop punk tune. Frank Turner's really been on my radar lately.
Listening.
I just
listening to Lit.
Isn't that their only good song? I'm pretty sure it is. That's actually I like that song though. Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you, but if you get a chance, you go on YouTube and just look up there's a specific video a friend of mine here showed me of a live Lit thing, and it's the crowd is just this, the Iowa State Fair, a fair crowd that just kind of sits in the stands and knows one song by the band or whatever. It's that kind of crowd. It's really fucking funny.
Oh my!
I'll have to link it to you.
Yeah, please do. I'll put it down in the description, because I guarantee everyone's really curious about what we're talking about.
That's pretty great.
So what? All right, I'm trying to think of other questions. Do you have any other questions, Darby?
Yeah. So, what So I know that like when we were younger or whatever, you got like I know I want to preface this, I guess. You went to school, you got your bachelor's in audio engineering,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's unfortunately
Right.
true.
So
Yes.
like come on. So when we were younger, I remember you getting like an electric guitar or whatever, like one of those like it was like an Ibanez or something, like
Yeah.
a really cheap Ibanez with a monster sticker on the front, which was fucking sweet back in the
Oh
day.
yeah. No. I got all the 14-year-old girls with that sticker.
Play your fucking 3 days grace covers and shit, and like I remember, I don't know because you were taking lessons at guitar
What was it?
guitar. What the
It
fuck
was
was that
like
place called?
yeah, it was the one in Indianola.
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero. Mm-hmm.
And
Continue.
you didn't seem like you were too like into it, you know, at that time. Like you seemed like you were just kind of learning it just to be because your parents were paying for it, and they were like, Hunter, you're taking these fucking lessons. We're already paying for them.
It's
I just want to know like what.
what.
Oh, go ahead.
What'd you say?
Oh, I just wanted to know like what changed your mind, like because you didn't seem to be into like learning how to play music or anything like that at all. Like what set you over? Like what made you? Was there like a certain band or a song or something you listened to that made you go like I want to have a career with this?
Ooh, man. It's actually. I'll start like with back in the day, like you said. My parents kind of like I saw a Brad Paisley concert. I know you're gonna cringe at that. And my dad was like, it'd be really cool if like you learned guitar. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And then literally that was kind of my thing. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then it kind of like died off. And then Christmas came around, and guess what? Guess what they got me for Christmas was that Ibanez guitar. And I was like, well, I don't know how to play it. And they're like, oh, we'll get you lessons. So yeah, I took lessons, and it's not that I didn't like the idea of learning guitar or I didn't want to learn music at the time, but when you're forced to do something, and on top of like I learned in a way that I probably should have learned now like looking back, because what I was being taught was more of a classical end to learning guitar, which would have helped me immensely compared to how I taught myself. But
You mean like with scales and stuff?
yeah,
and...
it was all scales, and a lot of it was like, really, I never learned a chord. That's a lie. I learned the D chord. But like what I wanted to do was I wanted to learn chords to like learn songs quickly, and write my own music. And then that just didn't happen. So eventually I just quit doing guitar lessons. And then, I specifically remember watching Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad, which is exactly what you recommended me. So yeah, so it's all come together. Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad.
What happened to that fucking DVD set, by the way? Where'd that go?
Who has that? I think Kagan has it. I don't know.
That motherfucker.
I really don't know what happened to it.
Cost me like $20.
I'm sorry. I paid you 30.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, how dare
Go
you?
ahead,
How dare you? But anyway, so the Beck Mongolian Chop Squad is about a kid that eventually learns how to play guitar, because he was so inspired by this band. I forget what the band's name in the anime was, but anyway, that kind of inspired me. The first song I actually learned was "Moon on the Water," from that anime.
Yeah.
That was
pretty solid song.
Yeah, no, and that was like, that is not a song you learn for your first song. It's just not. I remember like being so frustrated, but I really stuck with it. It was like one of the only times that I was like super proud of myself, because I was determined to learn this song. But on top of that anime, at the same time I'm watching that anime, my relationship in high school ended. I don't want to mention her name, but you know this very well.
No names.
Just I don't want to speak bad or anything. But so yeah, no, that like totally kind of changed me mentally, and I was super kind of upset. So that's kind of like what switched me, because I started off an electric guitar, then we traded the guitars. You got the electric, and then I used your acoustic. So that kind of really stemmed my love for acoustic guitars. That's why I have so many. That's why I really prefer my acoustic guitar over an electric almost every time.
Your Yamaha?
No, I have a Taylor now.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah. So no, but that Yamaha was like an absolutely amazing guitar to learn on, for the most part. I mean,
We're
I
not
did
from the
learn on,
Midwest.
what was the one you had that like I borrowed?
An applause.
An
I'm looking at
applause.
it. I'm looking at it right now.
Really? Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, it was an applause that my dad. We got.
Wait, what happened?
What?
You cut out. What'd you say? You
We got
cut
it
out.
for my dad for Father's Day. Oh, sorry. We got it for my dad for Father's Day or whatever, and then he must have decided he got a better guitar, and he's like, "Here, you can fucking have this thing if you want. I'm gonna play it." And then, so it's gone through a few people. It's a good guitar though.
Yeah, no, it was a great
It's
guitar.
kind of quiet, but. Oh yeah.
But then after that, and this is kind of a long story, but then I got into another relationship. That one ended horribly. And then I really picked up the Yamaha I had and actually like really sat down. I wrote my first song, and I got a lot of support from my family about it. And then at that time, I was like, okay, like I really enjoy music. I enjoy the emotions that it creates. And I absolutely love how, people can be brought together by music. So then I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go to school for audio. I was like, I want to get out of Iowa at that time. That was like my biggest thing. It's like, I do not want to stay in Iowa. And then so I'm going to move almost as far away as possible. And yeah, so that's basically how I ended up in Full Sail. I don't know if you really knew that story or not. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't know if I've really told too many people that.
I didn't know the whole thing. I kind of pieced parts of it together though.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that you decided to do that because of a fucking anime. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's even like
Or funny, yeah.
I don't even watch anime that much anymore. Like I seriously, I'll put in Cowboy Bebop like every other 6 months because I think
that's all you need.
I think literally that is the best anime ever created. And then anyone who tries to fight me on it, I usually win because I just don't let down. I'm like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I have too many
Should definitely
facts on my side.
Should definitely check out My Hero Academia. That show's really good.
I've watched
In
the
its
first
third
2
season
seasons
right
of
now,
that
I think.
actually. And it's fantastic.
pretty good.
It is a fantastic anime that I actually really wanted to continue, but I'm really afraid that I want to be invested, and eventually it's going to turn into like something crazy dumb, like not crazy dumb, but crazy long and convoluted, like Naruto or One Piece or Bleach. Like it's going to be one of the bigs.
It's only bad if you like. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
So yeah, I'm just afraid to be invested. I'm afraid of commitment, Darby. Specifically
Well,
for
if
anime.
you start, if you keep up now, then you won't have to go back and watch 900 episodes of it later.
Yeah, I'm still on episode 34 of One Piece. I'm just,
One Piece sucks.
Yeah,
okay?
well, I heard it gets really good though. Like, why would it be the number one
you
manga and
heard-
anime of like
I
everywhere?
mean, after like 600 episodes, it starts getting good. You have to fucking watch. Oh, just get to episode 600. It's great.
Well, I'm on my way. I'm trying.
We're gonna lose like half of the people listening. Like, oh, they're talking about like anime shit. No.
I feel like some people be interested. I don't know. So I guess this is my turn. I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
So, so I guess what it comes down to is a lot of things that inspired me in my life actually came from you, and that being like anime, music, just a ton of shit. There's a lot of I can't even think of it all.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Gross.
Yeah, I know you're a big inspiration to me. You fucking
Ugh.
I can't be mean to you. Yeah, you've really ruined my life in a lot of ways financially.
It's not my.
It's
my
not.
fault.
It's
I didn't do
not. I
anything.
purchased way too many guitars and way too many animes and way too many manga. You remember back in the day, I had like 300 volumes of manga.
Yeah, you're a fucking weeb. You had that review channel. Link that. Link
No.
that, please.
No, I'm good.
If you don't, I will.
Okay, fine.
Look up Tuck
No,
950
don't
on
do it.
YouTube and go see Hunter's old anime reviews.
Oh man, hey, they were solid.
Better
back
make
in the
those
day.
videos private.
I had 100. No, I'll never make them.
They're pretty good.
I had 100 subscribers. I was really proud of it. Remember Fuck 950?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I kept
the parody channel of Tuck 950. Okay.
all recorded on like a shitty smartphone and uploaded directly to YouTube from the shitty smartphone.
Those were the days, man. Technology really advanced.
Yeah.
Okay, no. We gotta get back on track here. What? So what inspired you? I think I already know the answer to this, but like, what inspired you to really get into your hobbies, music and anime back in the day? I'm sure you're not like as into it now, but like,
Oh Jesus.
yeah, like what? I feel like if I want to make a guess, I feel like a lot of it was your uncle and a lot of it was your dad.
Yeah, so I think that this like comes down to like three or four like separate things that have kind of taken place in my life. Anime and all this nerdy like fucking weeb shit probably comes mostly from my uncle. Just because he used to like force me to watch it with him and shit, and I didn't really like some of it, but then like there were ones that I was like, this is actually really cool, and I love how over the top this is, and it's funny, and I don't know, they just didn't have anything like it in American cartoons, so I just picked up on it and just kind of became a piece of me, you know. And I don't watch as much anime as I'd like to nowadays, mostly because I'm busy, but that's definitely one thing. So you're right about that. Art and stuff, I think I just kind of, as far back as I can remember, I've always been drawing and sketching shit and drawing mostly cartoons like back in the day, because I was super into like those old like 90s cartoons and stuff on like Cartoon Network, like Ed, Ed and Eddie, Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab or whatever.
Dude,
or like Ren and
memories,
Stimpy.
man.
Yeah, good times. And I would always try to draw like those characters and stuff. And I don't know, just started doing my own shit with it. And then now I'm here where I do like boring corporate logo kind of. I don't know. I've just been really into like doing like the weird corporate stuff right now. So trying to learn how all of it fits together, like using the least amount of pieces as possible to convey like a message or something. Guitar though, and music, I didn't really get into until I was like a freshman in high school, and I never would have learned guitar, but we had a student teacher come in. I probably shouldn't use a name, the dude with the dreadlocks or whatever. And I remember I had like an 8th period like thing in the music room where it was basically like study hall or like independent study or something, but I was using it to like not do anything like you do.
Yeah, of course.
And he's like, one day he was like, Darby, you're gonna learn how to play guitar, and I was like, okay.
That's kind of cool. I forgot about
some
him.
chords. Yeah, but that's how I learned guitar, and I've been playing it ever since. And yeah, it's been a good time. I love it.
Did you ever keep in touch with him?
I got him on Facebook. I don't talk to him. Though. It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
He's got his own shit going on. So.
Does he? Yeah, I don't really remember him. Like, I don't remember his face at all. I remember he had dreadlocks though, and I remember that like you were like super butt buddies with him for a while. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll go make my own friends. And then yeah, that was high school.
Yep.
What is I have a question. What is the worst part of our high school career, do you think?
The worst
part?
part?
Like, what do you think, like, what was the worst and what was the best? Like, what do you think were the worst qualities and the best qualities of our high school? Because we grew up in a high school that our graduating class had 43 people, I think, in it, 42 maybe. Very small. We also were backcountry. It was very hicky school. I think our class was one of the only classes that wasn't like super like that. I mean, we had our hicky people, but like I remember like the upperclassmen and the lowerclassmen being way more country for some reason. Maybe it's just because I didn't hang out with them as much. I don't know.
Well, they had less pregnant people than we did too. So
we're advancing faster. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I don't know. Our class is pretty chill for the most part. You got it. Can't. Worst part of high school. Probably just like how everybody like fucking knew everyone else and like what they were like. If you did some stupid shit,
oh man,
it just spread around so fucking fast.
Yeah, that is more than true. I remember walking in the first period in one of my classes, and they were talking shit about me as soon as I walked in the door, and I was like, okay, cool, fuck you guys.
They were like, yeah, that Hunter kid, he's fucking stupid.
No, they were telling me I was really smart. I didn't apply myself.
Oh god, that's not bad.
No, that is not what they said. No, I would agree definitely with that. I would say like a lot of the problem in my mind, and this doesn't count for all the staff, but I do think a lot of the staff are almost worse than the fucking kids at the school. You know, like it seemed like I got a box of nails thrown at me.
Oh, who was that? Who did that?
I don't even remember his name.
Was that Walt? Oh shit!
No,
I
it
shouldn't
wasn't.
say names.
It wasn't Wall. No, it was the other dude that was like in the shop classes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chub and Tuck.
Yeah, Chubb. That was like most of the men teaching. We had that. I had another teacher that like failed me because he was trying to hold me back. That was our lovely accountant teacher. You remember?
He was trying to hold you back.
Yeah, he tried to hold me back. He's like, "You need my class to graduate," and I'm like, "No, I don't." And then he found out that, and then he gave me a D. So yeah, no.
He didn't want to see you ever again.
Good. I didn't want to see him ever again.
I forgot.
I hated him.
I completely forgot we took that class. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, we took that class, and then like we were just being goofballs like usual. And then dude, he just was not fucking having it. And then like he was trying to fuck the math teacher that was married while he was married.
Yeah.
And then like it was basically fucking
that.
proven, like by multiple witnesses that shit was going on there. So yeah, no, that was a little fucked up.
Holy shit, I forgot about that completely.
Yeah, I don't really care for. Didn't like. He's probably my least favorite teacher of all time.
Best teacher?
Oh man, Miss Krug.
Miss Krug?
Mm-hmm.
Coolest teacher.
Miss Krug.
The one. No, wrong answer.
I don't know, Mr. Van Steen.
No, that's not what
I hope like some people know. What we're talking
saw
about.
like.
Who are you referring to?
Am I fucking? I was talking about Mr. Kelly. Because he let us get away with so much shit.
Yeah, no. I remember one time he had to give me detention. He's like, "You've been coming in late every time for like the past month, and they finally caught us." I was like, "What do you mean?" So he's like, they caught me giving you a break every time, so I had to give you detention now." I'm like, "Mr. Kelly." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah, but the tension with him is not bad. You just sit there and talk.
Yeah, no, I basically did that
like,
anyway.
yeah.
I don't think I took it with him though.
Okay.
I don't remember who I took it with. I remember the librarian was like the most classic librarian and just fucking hated my guts.
She was a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Excuse me. She seemed like.
Yeah, no, we don't know for sure. Maybe she was.
Maybe she wasn't.
Maybe
really.
she was nice to everyone else but me and you, apparently.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. I just didn't like her tone half the time. Also, I didn't go to the library very much. So.
Yeah, I haven't read a book since high school. Actually, I haven't read a book before high school. I don't think. I don't read.
I actually forgot that our school had a library.
I think you
but
forgot
now I'm
high
starting to
school
remember
completely.
that it was one of the only. You know what? There's probably good reasons for that.
That's why you couldn't think of like anything horrible, because you blocked them out of your fucking memory.
Yeah.
It just seems like, high school's such a weird part of everyone's lives because like on top of like you changing as a person and like all the hormones and sexual energies throughout high school, which is like really weird. Just like
what?
No, it's like it's such a weird thing because like we peak sexually in high school.
I know.
Okay, but don't like make me weird because like that's totally a thing.
No, I was just giving you shit.
Oh, well, don't do that to me. That scared me. I didn't like that at all.
Oh.
How dare you, by the way?
Okay. I'll be more considerate next time.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. I guess I don't want to talk about high school for the entire podcast here. Any other questions you have, Mr. Darby L. Larson?
Let me think. When are you gonna release anything?
Man, I didn't realize this about myself, but at least when it comes to music, I'm the biggest perfectionist I have ever come across.
Ooh.
I refuse to release something unless it is exactly how it's supposed to sound in my mind. And I've made progress, but I don't want to release anything. I don't want to release anything real. Like, I don't want to release my first EP until I'm 100% happy with how it is. But I might release a joke song sometime just for shits and giggles, because I do want to release things and have content, but I also don't want to release things that I'm not proud of, I don't know how to explain. What about you? You haven't released much lately. You released that, what was it? The Mega 64 song, which was
Oh yeah, check your iPhone at the door.
Yeah, which was probably genius. The most genius thing.
I got retweeted.
I know, that's amazing.
I'm happy about that.
I would be happy about that.
No.
I like the thing about your music is that it's so different. And it's something I swear to God, hit up IGN, or not IGN, I'm so sorry. Toonami.
IGN.
I just I went back to 8th grade
Adult
self.
Swim?
Yeah, Adult Swim about the music we showed, which I will also link in the podcast description. Because
Ooh.
it is just really, it's the weirdest sound you'll ever hear, but it really fits the tone of what Adult Swim was going for. Um, so I really like it, which is surprising because if it's something unique and weird, I generally don't like it for a good year, and then I'll start listening to it again. I'll get into it, but no, for some it caught me instantly. I really liked it. Maybe it was because it sounded a little familiar of what Adult Swim was, and I grew up with that. So I don't know, and it's interesting. So tell me,
Yeah.
I guess I'll kind of jump a question off that, but like what gave you the idea to record the way you did? Because I know you said you record through like what was that, tape recorder or something, and then you like
Oh yeah.
explain your
I don't know.
process.
So basically my setup is I have a fucking blue snowball microphone, right?
Mm.
And then like an orange amp, and then I put the old Dan Electro guitar through that, which gives it that kind of like thin sound or whatever. So I'll run that into like some shitty audio like music editing program. I use like Mixcraft, but maybe not so much anymore because I'm really disappointed with the latency on the fucking drums. But so I recorded that on the computer, and then what I did was I took I don't even know what kind of cable, like some audio cables like the white and red, and I ran those
The aux
from
cable?
the headphone. It's not really an aux cable. Well, one end of it is an aux cable,
But like the AVI.
but I ran.
Sorry, I had to get this out.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't think of what it was
Okay,
called.
go for it.
But I ran one end of that from my headphone jack in my computer to the back of my VCR. Yes, I have two VCRs actually.
Darby's whole entire apartment is 90s themed, maybe even late 80s, and it's super interesting because there's VHSs everywhere. There's GameCubes. I guess that's more like 2000s, but like PS2s. Like you will not see any technology above the year 2010.
Well, except this computer that I'm sitting at. Right now.
Okay, so there's
It's actually Windows 95 machine.
this Windows. Yeah, why don't you have that? You know there's a bunch of those free, like what is it, like so many hours on online cards. You know what I'm talking about?
I know. I use those all the time. Yeah, I find them in landfills.
Yeah, they're fucking
use them up.
everywhere. I've seen a lot of them lately for some reason. Okay, continue with your recording
Anyway,
process.
so anyway, I'll record something in the computer. I'll run it through the VCR through that cable or whatever coming out of the headphone jack of my computer, and then I'll record that to like a VHS tape. I've done this once. It worked pretty fun. It was pretty cool. And then I'll play that back on the VCR, but I'll run that same cable back in through the microphone jack in the computer because it has like one of those like headphone ones that's an aux thing, and then like the microphone one that's also an aux thing. And I'll just hit record on like Audacity or something, and then it'll just play that right into the computer, and it sounds really fucking weird and like distorted kind of, but it's cool.
Yeah, no,
it's
it's super interesting. Like I'd sit down and listen to like a full concept album if you were to ever do something like that.
Fuck, dude.
'Cause, yeah, I would do it. I would see how far it goes because I think it's really interesting. Like it's one of those things that like it's weird, but just because it's weird doesn't mean it's not like entertaining or good. A lot of times actually weird is the new entertaining. I don't know. Maybe Darby, maybe you're on to the next wave of pop music. You're the biggest pop star in the year 2023.
I will say this: it's probably not for everyone.
Well, usually, like, my genre of music is, like, I strictly listen to ska, pop punk, folk music. That's, like, those are, like, my genres that I stick to. Sometimes I, like, branch out. I'll listen to pop or country, but never really rap, which everyone kind of fights me on. I don't know. I just can't get into it.
Right.
But, like, hearing something so different to where you have to, like, really listen to it, because like when you put like a pop song on and you're like, yeah, but this is pop music, but like you put that on, you're like,
oh yeah,
well, is this the second rising of Christ or
I don't know about that.
I mean, like, to me it's it's so interesting. It's I really like how it sounds. I can't get over it.
Thank you.
I can't get over how much, because like especially it's been like at least 2 months or so since I've heard it, and I still like strictly remember how it sounds.
I appreciate it. That's cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, good job, Darby.
Nice to hear.
You've accomplished gaining one fan, which is me.
Yeah,
I know.
I did
Only millions more to go. You'll get there. So here's a weird question. You've been in a committed relationship for a very long time now. I believe 2 to 3 years.
That's a while.
Yeah, that's a good amount of time there. And then so I don't really remember you single very much. So do you think if you were kind of forced into being single, like you guys didn't break up again, you guys are like still together, but you guys just weren't physically together, you know? Do you think you'd function well like that?
Well, we're gonna find out. My girlfriend actually is going to New York in like today, actually. So.
What the fuck? I didn't hear about this.
She'll be gone for it's like about 12 days, but we haven't really been apart that long before since we started dating, which is gonna be really weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Good for her. What's she going for?
She's just going like with her family and shit. They're just having an old touristy time up there.
Touristy. They invite you. They're like, don't bring that Darby kid.
This is a girl. I mean, it's like a girls thing, you know. Like no boys allowed. You know.
you wouldn't fit in, is what you're saying.
I don't want to go. I'm fucking not interested in going to New York either. So.
Man, you don't want to go to New York at all? I'd like to go at least once.
No. No. I don't even like Chicago. It's too many people.
I don't like anywhere but my bedroom and my office, generally.
Fucking amen,
It's
dude.
like my space, and I really appreciate having it all to myself. That's crazy though. So that's kind of interesting. Do you think you will function well?
I think I'll be fine. I'll probably get a lot of shit done, honestly.
I kind of wish it was for longer, just to see like how, because I think after like a month you like naturally start to adjust to your environment, and it just kind of depends how well you'd adjust to it.
Right. It's like you forget the other person exists completely.
Yeah, like I don't even know who my mom or dad is anymore. I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, weird. How is your mom? I hear from her on Facebook all the time.
Oh, she's good, I think. I talked to her like a couple days ago. She's doing all right.
Because your like relationship with your mom's really interesting to me, for some reason. It just doesn't seem like a mom
weird.
relationship. Yeah, it seems like you guys are just like really good friends from college, like 40 years back.
Yeah, that basically sums it up, honestly.
Yeah, because I've never seen her be like super motherly or anything. Which is like, not that she's a bad mom or anything. I just haven't seen her like that. I haven't seen your mom. The last time I saw your mom was when you left for Wisconsin, I think. You remember that?
Oh yeah, that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, for sure.
That was a while ago. Shit. No, like 3 years ago this year, I think.
Wow. How do you?
Like last month.
That's kind of a cool thing we could jump on real quick. How was that? How was like moving to Wisconsin away from like, I like this. Shut up.
Oh. God.
Yeah, no. How was moving to Wisconsin like away from all your friends? Because that's kind of like the same boat I'm in, currently, or I have been. It's like you just move away from a lot of people you know and love, and you're kind of stuck doing different things,
Yeah. To be honest, it was okay. I got to see like a lot of my family that I hadn't really seen for a long time, which was really cool. Like my dad's side of the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like I didn't have the best time, just because like I didn't know anyone, and I'm not very. It takes me a long time to like kind of make actual friends that I would like hang out with outside of like work or whatever.
You didn't
So
make
like
any
I spent
friends?
most of my time there, like not really. I'm thinking about it. I didn't really make any friends up there.
Wow.
Like no one that I maybe like superficial kind of stuff, but no one I could actually like sit down and be like, hey man, you want to like come over and like crash at my place and we'll play like video games and shit or something, Nothing like that. So I spent most of my time just like writing music and making stupid Photoshop shit on the computer and staying up till
I
4 a.m.
I remember those so much. Those are so funny. The Pope
Yeah,
one
it
was
was
probably
fun.
the best one. Was that while you were in
Yeah,
Wisconsin? Was
yeah,
it? Oh, man, that was
yeah.
such a
Most Photoshop things I ever did were while I was living up there,
huh.
and like I don't know, it was good for productivity, but I wasn't very happy, so I moved
How'd
back.
you feel when Chris, Tani, and I went to visit? I went to visit once before, and then the next time Chris, Tani, and I went to go visit you.
Well, that was the next time. The first time you came up was just you,
Yeah.
and then the next time you came up, I was coming back anyway.
Yes, but like we still
Remember?
visited, so.
You did. You got to kind of get a little peek into what it was like living up there, which was, uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was interesting because like your dad was there. It was kind of a smaller place, but your dad was there, but he was also like, I'm gonna go downstairs and pork the downstairs lady.
Oh my god. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry.
I couldn't help it. I just always thought that was really funny.
They were dating, that's what happened.
Yeah, is he still in Wisconsin or where is he now?
Oh yeah, he still lives in the same place. I think he's
I
with my brother and stuff.
Yeah, because I haven't really heard from him at all. I can't remember the last time I heard
Yeah,
from
he's
him.
still. He sent me. He knows a guy apparently up there who works for this cheese place or whatever. I know Wisconsin cheese, fucking haha, right? Um,
Oh God.
but he sent back. I'll take a picture of all the. It's not even all of it because I gave some of it to a friend here because I didn't want all of this cheese. It's like all that spreadable cheese that comes in like those plastic containers or whatever.
Is
Like
it
you
like
put it
the
on
spray on
crackers
cheese?
or whatever.
The spray on cheese.
It's not spray cheese. That's not it. It's like it's like a cheese paste, kind of.
So just to clarify,
I'll
it's
send-
not a cheese material in a can that you spray.
No,
Okay.
no, it's not spray. There's no spraying of cheese. It's like a spread or whatever. He sent like this giant box, and I think there must have been like 10 or 12, maybe more than that. I don't even remember. Just these giant containers of this spreadable cheese and like different flavors and stuff. There was like a horseradish one. I didn't even know that existed, and I was like, what the fuck is? I can't eat all this. It probably weighed like 5 pounds.
Ooh, 5 pounds of cheese.
That was
That sounds kind of delicious right now. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't eaten today, so.
Hey, I'll send you some through the mail. I don't think it goes bad. It's just
Yeah, I thought cheese like
it's the
goes.
fakest fucking cheese you can ever have.
Shit. Yeah, send me some. Send me a lot of things. If you could send me $30 by Facebook Pay, that'd be fantastic.
All right, make me something.
I'll make you a something. I don't know. I'll come up with something later.
Spend hours of your time on something I asked you for,
Ooh.
and I'll send you $30.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Darby L. Larson?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to ask any of them.
Yeah, ask.
And you've been firing.
Yeah,
off.
I
Sure.
always come up with these amazing questions. I should be a regular talk show host in the next 10 to 15 years, I think.
Mm-hmm. And you can cut this one out if you want. But I'm just curious about maybe this isn't the forum, the certain place for this, right place for this kind of question.
Yeah.
But
Are you asking about
just wanna
my
know 'cause,
penis length?
well, that's I'm saving that for last. And I already know.
All right, what's your question?
I'm gonna.
You got me nervous
You
though.
can cut this out if you want. Yeah. As children of divorced parents, as many of the kids in the United States probably are nowadays, I just want to know how that like affected the things that you're doing. And I don't even really remember when your parents got divorced. I think you were already out of high school, if I remember correctly. Like,
Okay, yes, I was out of high school. And I have to say, like, I think people think that getting divorced while they have kids in the house is, like young kids, like between 5 and 10 or something. I think that, they think that's the worst age. And it could be, I don't know. But
Yeah.
for me specifically, like, I was out of high school. and like in my mind everything was normal, you know, like nothing was different, nothing like fell out of the normal. And then one day my parents are supposed to come hang out with me, just kind of have a family day, you know. I'm an only child, so and I guess, you know, so it snowed really bad, and then they were like, yeah, we're not going to be able to make it, but you know, there's something I need to tell you. And this was my mom, and my mom's, you know, started kind of like taking some breaths, and I'm like, oh shit, who died? You know.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you
This
know,
relationship.
I hate to I hate to tell you this. And she's kind of starting to cry, and she's like, you know, but your father and I are getting a divorce, and it's because, you know, I cheated on him, and like all this kind of stuff. And then, like, you know, I was in shock, you know. I was at first, I'm like, kind of like, when's the punchline coming? Where's the joke?
Yeah.
But then she just kind of, then she like really started to bawl, and then I started crying out of like a reaction. I don't know. I probably would have cried if I just heard it from someone else too. I don't know. Who knows? But like, you know, to me, it broke me. I started bawling. I hung up the phone on her. I called my girlfriend at the time because I needed someone to talk to. And then like that didn't really help. And then after that, I don't really remember whatever happened after that. I just remember it being like the best way I can describe having parents that divorce at my age is seeing throughout your entire life this foundation of what love is and how relationships work, and that foundation, everything that you built on top of that. If the foundation breaks, everything above is also going to break. You know, like everything that you thought of how love is now not the same. At least it wasn't for me. Like, I mean, I still had like morals and values, and I understood how everything worked, and hey, don't cheat on your significant other. I get that. But like seeing, you know, like when you're born, for the most part, a lot of times they see their parents are together. And then like I think I was at least 19. So I lived 19 years, almost 2 decades, seeing these two people together and seeing how loved was, how being loved and how you express your love was. And now, like being a bit older, I'm 22 now. I don't agree with, now looking back, I don't really agree with how they loved each other. Like it wasn't like a physical love really. It was just, you know, it was very supportive, and I liked that they were very supportive of each other. But like they weren't like physically loving, and I kind of feel like that's a big thing in a relationship, is being able to, like, you know, hold your significant other's hand, or like, you know, expressing how you love them in a physical way that doesn't necessarily mean like sexual or anything, you know. And they never did that. But I guess to me, like, I think it really messed with me. I really do. I think that it took a lot from who I was at that time, and it kind of like, I think that was like the beginning, the spark of where my life really kind of turned upside down, because I was in a very committed relationship at that time. I was very happy with who I was with, and then that ended abruptly. And then so, you know, like I don't know, it really messed with me. That's when I was like, okay, like it's time to not be in Iowa anymore. I need to get away. I want to do something worth, you know, doing, and that was audio. So it's just, you know, yeah, it's really interesting. And I'm not, like, I'm fine now, and I understand, and both of my parents are in relationships that make them very happy. I've yet to meet my mom's significant other, because he is the reason why my parents are divorced. So it's a very, like, sketchy isn't the right word, but I'm going to use it. Sketchy, like, think about, because I'm not comfortable with it, and I'm not happy that she's with that person. But eventually, I'm just going to have to suck it up and be happy for her. I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she's happy, but I'm not happy that she's happy with that person, you know?
Yeah, see, that's like the hardest thing to do, I think, is like you have to realize that your parents are their own people, and they need to do things for themselves, and you know, they're still learning and going through all these experiences and everything, and trying to do what they can to, you know, make their lives better and make the lives around, you know, the people that they care about, their lives better too. And sometimes you just got to be like, you know what, you're my fucking parent, and I love you. I don't agree with you all the time. You're kind of an idiot, I think, but I still love you because you birthed me. So that, you know, there you go.
Yeah, it's I read something, and this is kind of off topic, but it's something along the lines of like your whole life changes once you have a kid, because like all your priorities are set to making their life as best as it possibly can. Like there's just some genetic code that like kicks in your brain. I've heard my mom say that. I've heard multiple other parents say that. And it's so, it's and then so like when you're born, I feel like you're biologically made to love your parents. I mean, a lot of times like there's a lot of relationships that aren't that like, I know a lot of people that refuse to speak to their parents, or they have good reason to, but like at the start, like as soon as you're born, I think you're mentally made to love whoever birthed you. And then eventually along the way, if that like gets cut up and some shit goes down and they do some things that really hurt you and hurt your lifestyle or something like that, then yeah, it makes sense not to love them. But like I do think all parent child relationships start in an act of love.
It's like when something like that happens, it's like the ultimate betrayal of of trust.
100%. And like that's why that's why like in my relationship with my parents, or specifically with my mom, like when she had an affair against my dad, like she wasn't doing anything to me. Like this was all between her and my dad. But like it felt like a betrayal to me. Like it was our family. And it was hard seeing like one of my family members. We're a small family, just 3 people: my mom, my dad, and I. And it was hard seeing a third of our family just breach off and do something different. It hurt a lot. But yeah. I want to say this real quick, is that because of that divorce and the events that happened within it, I am so much closer with my dad. And I've never, like, my dad is not someone who communicates well. He keeps to himself. He doesn't like to show emotion. And he's still like that, but he's much better. So the relationship between me and my father has improved immensely. I relate with him. Mm-hmm. I understand how he is. And so I'm really happy for that outcome. As for my mom, I think my mom and I had like a really rough, because I was really upset with her, but she didn't do anything to hurt me. And so that relationship has started to mend. I think we're a lot better, and I communicate with her, and I love her to death. She's an excellent mother, and she's done nothing to actually hurt me in any way. It's, she's sacrificed so much, so I love her so much for that. She does so much for me. But it was just, it's hard to see that. How do you feel? Because your parents divorced when you were younger.
Right. No, I wasn't that much younger. I think I was oh shit, dude. 16, 17. They split up when I was 17, I think, or something like that.
Oh, wow. I guess I remembered 18. A lot differently. So how did you feel?
Shit, it's been so long now, I don't even know. Well, I think I had it a little differently just because my relationship with my parents was different than yours. I feel like you guys probably it sounds like you guys had more of the standard parent-child relationship or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll say this. I'll say when I heard that my parents are splitting up, I was just like, thank fucking God.
Wow. Yeah, I remember you telling me this actually.
Yeah, it was just this is probably good. And it was, everything kind of improved since they split up. I don't want to get into it too much because it's really weird and parts of it still confuse me a little bit, but I can say that my relationship with my dad at least has improved immensely. I understand him a lot better because when I was younger, I used to get mad at him a lot and I didn't really get why he did certain things or why he acted the way that he did. I thought he was kind of a dick. Mm-hmm. But after the whole divorce and everything, and I kind of got to see what he was dealing with, and I got older, and you get older, you understand what your parents have to go through to keep a family stable, and the whole process of the divorce and everything really helped me get on I get eye to eye with my dad, and now we're buddies. I don't talk to him too often, but when I do, we just shoot the shit, and it's fun. He likes a lot of the same bands and stuff I do. It's all good.
So statistically, when your parents are divorced, and it even goes way down the line, if your parents are divorced, you're statistically much more likely to also have a divorce yourself. Do you believe in that statistic?
Well, I can say, I mean, if the statistics there, I don't think it'll happen.
I think
to me.
I
though.
don't think statistics are I don't think they're as important as people think they are. Like, I think that there's a lot of different events that happened around a statistic that makes it a statistic. You know, like I don't think it's as easy to count. I guess I'm having a hard time portraying.
There's a lot of variables.
Yeah, variables is the word I'm looking for. I feel like there's a lot of variables people don't look into.
Everyone's in an individual situation.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'll be honest. It does scare me because like if I'm gonna like trust my life to someone. But now like seeing that happen to my parents and the divorce and like the aftermath of it, all I could like when I get married, I'm gonna be straight up, be like, listen, you know, I am devoting my life to you, but I do want a prenup. You know, I feel like that's such a horrible thing to think, but I've seen some shit, dude.
No.
Like I've seen some really selfish stuff in the midst of my parents' divorce, and I can't. I don't want to risk that happening for myself, right?
Right. Let's look at Brendan Fraser here for an example, okay? The man is a very successful movie star, multi-millionaire, gets a divorce. His ex-wife gets like $900,000 in alimony from him like a year. That's fucking crazy. For what? Because you were married to the guy?
Yeah.
And you got divorced?
No, that's
bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I can't wrap my head around why that's important.
I don't either. I don't know. I guess if you have like a kid or something, but like $900,000, like really?
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Do you need that much money?
Like if they had a company and both their names were on it, like in the same, like if they were both co-director or something on whatever the fuck they worked on, you know, it'd be different. But they're not.
Right.
They are.
Right.
They're two people that have worked two different jobs, and that's how my parents' divorce worked. Is what happened is they had pensions or something along the lines of that, and then my mom would get half of my dad's and my dad's would get half of my mom's. That was how it worked. Everything split down down the middle. Now what they didn't tell you was that my dad's pension was significantly higher than my mom's pension. Therefore, you know, she was losing a lot. And my dad brought this up. She's like, here, you know, this is no mistake. I have a much higher pension. I'd like to keep my pension to myself and let, you know, her keep her pension to herself. And did not go over well because they agreed to those terms, and then they did some shady shit and tried getting at my dad's pension again later. So, you know, I don't. It's so hard to trust people. You know, like those two people were married for so fucking long. Not the longest marriage in you know the stratosphere, but Jesus Christ, long enough to think that they weren't going to do shady shit on each other. But here we are. So, you know, it's
people do, you know.
It's scary because I have such a hard time trusting people now because stuff like that.
When there's money at stake, man, you'd be surprised some of the crazy shit people will do.
I know, but you know it's funny because my roommate was like, you know, if you could drown me and you'd get $10 million for it and no one would find out, you'd be scot-free, would you drown me? I'd say fuck no. I don't know, because like to me it's like, yeah, it's $10 million and I get away with it, but I would know that I killed one of my best friends. I can't do that shit. I would probably kill myself out of like, you know, regret. So it would make no sense to me, you know. I'd get $10 million, but I'd also die, be in the process. Cause
I'm not gonna say yes or no because if I get $10 million one day and someone dies, I don't want to be the blame.
Yeah, okay, I see how it is. Yeah, if I ever just get randomly $10 million, maybe I rethought the situation.
and you're like died from drowning, or they find your body in a river or something.
Probably shit. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, money's fantastic to have, but like, I'd rather have my friend and not the guilt of killing my friend. At least I don't know. It's just how I.
Yeah, you don't want to kill people.
Oh, it's just how I feel on that. But
they got the briefcase in front of you, though.
Well, I'd just steal the briefcase.
It's
I wouldn't
right there.
kill anybody.
Steal the. I guess if you're already committing a crime.
Yeah, I'd just commit a much lesser crime. If I got caught, I think I would get off a lot easier than if I were to murder someone.
Depends on who the $10 million comes from, I guess.
Ooh, what if it was like an enemy though? See, like if it was like someone I didn't like, and they were like, just kill this person, you get $10 million, and you won't get caught. I'm like, shit, man. I might do it.
That's a good question.
I might do it.
Would you really?
I don't know, because I was thinking to myself recently, If I was in a situation where I had to kill someone to survive myself, I wonder if I would actually do it. I feel like if I'm thinking really hard about it, I feel like I would, but only out of instinct, only out of survival, not because of like I knew what I was doing. It was because my body took over in a flight or fight instinct, you know?
Right.
I don't think like mentally I could commit to killing somebody. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Like if you were in the right state of mind, you think you would.
Yeah, like if someone like gave me a knife and I was in a room with someone else and they were like, "All right, you either kill this person or you die yourself." I think I would just die. But if someone was attacking me and it was my life or them, it'd be different.
What if one of your what if one of your good friends was threatening to kill one of your other good friends, and you had a gun and you had to point at him and you're like, what would you do?
Wait, do they have weapons? Are they attacking each other right now?
Yeah, they're attacking. Well, one of them's got one of them like by like knife, like by the throat, or like gun or whatever, like at gunpoint.
Fuck it, knowing my luck though, like I'd probably shoot the innocent one. And I'd have to play it off because I still like the other guy. I'd be like, "Oh man, thank God I killed that guy, not you." Like if you had a knife against like Chris's neck or something, and like I accidentally shot Chris,
oh God,
and I'd be like, "Woo, thank God I aimed right." But I was like trying to kill you. I don't know. I don't know. Like I can't see myself taking another life unless it was like, all right, there is a situation where I feel like I would completely be in control. Is if I had a child and my child was in danger, I feel like I would go complete like just adrenaline intensive masses of brutal energy trying to take down whatever was putting my child in danger. Like I feel like I will have that ability. But if it was for myself...
You'd be like Drunk Hunter on New Year's.
Drunk Hunter on New Year's. You were all my children. Dude, I don't know. I guess this is kind of a cool question. So both of us have had some pretty crazy nights drinking. Maybe some nights that we're not so proud of. How do you think that's affected you now? Like, do you think
I don't drink?
Yeah, you don't drink at all.
I don't do anything. I'm a good boy.
Man, because like I don't drink near as much. I will say that much. But there are a lot of times where I do drink, and the thing is like I know my limit, but then sometimes I'll be off guard because if I go a long time without drinking, my
right.
What's the term? Like I don't know my limits.
Your tolerance goes down.
Yeah, my tolerance goes down. So like usually like I can drink about 3 shots and 2 beers and I'll be really good. But like I did that a couple weekends ago and I hadn't drank forever, and I drank that and I was fucking gone. So,
yeah.
I think a lot of it was, back when I did have a lot of issues drinking, I was in a much more depressive state, and I still think I still hold on to some of those depressive things, but they're not as prevalent or strong, so I can control them better, which is good. It means I'm making progress, but I'm still not there. Because depression is kind of a weird thing. Like sometimes you're just sad for no reason. Sometimes you just wake up and you want to do nothing but lay in your bed. I have those days a lot.
Yeah.
But other days I wake up and I'm very productive and I'm very happy.
I will say, like, ever since I quit, like all the drinking and,
cocaine,
nicotine, cocaine, whatever, I haven't had a lot of those days. I mean, I really none that I can think of, unless I'm like upset about something else. But I haven't woken up like and for no reason been super sad lately.
But you have before,
like,
right?
A year almost, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but maybe there were some surrounding circumstances that caused that. I don't know. But ever since I quit using alcohol or nicotine and all that stuff, I just feel a lot better.
Yeah, because I'm like I've never been
a lot of fucking weight.
Yeah, for sure. I can attest to that. I've gained it all back in other problems in my life. But I do have to say though, yeah, like the more I've never been addicted to nicotine, so I can't really vouch for that. But like I will say, like drinking, like it is a natural depressant, and it took me a long time to realize that. It was like this is basically made to make you depressed. And people don't really realize that because when they're drunk, they're really happy at first. And sometimes they continue to stay that happy. I think it just really magnifies what you're feeling inside, you know? So if you're having a bad day, don't drink.
Sometimes it just turns you into a complete fucking idiot that doesn't mean anything that you're saying.
Yeah, that's accurate. I've said some stuff that, like, I woke up the next day and I was like, why did I say that? It makes no sense, you know? So
I'm pretty sure one time I just started yelling the N-word over and over again when I was, like,
Christ.
blacked out. Yeah, I don't even, you know?
I don't think I've ever seen you, like, super bad drunk, though.
No. Well, maybe St. Patrick's Day, that one time.
We hung out at St. Patrick's Day?
But were you there?
I don't think so.
2015, St. Patty's Day.
What were we doing?
I mooned everyone. I threw up all over the place.
No, I would have remembered that.
I don't remember most of that night. Jordan had to tell me.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I forgot that, like, we've kind of had our issues with drinking before.
Well, you know, we were... Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. That might be incriminating. Never mind.
I only know what he was going to say, so I'm just in the same boat as everyone else here.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though. I like to, like, see the progression we've made, because I think if we compared ourselves to right out of high school, Hunter and Darby, compared to now in life, we're very different than we were.
And the crazy thing is, it hasn't even been that long.
Yeah, no, it's... When did we graduate? 14, so almost 4 years now that it's...
Yeah.
Because we graduated this summer.
Nothing.
Yeah, so, I mean... Yeah, because if I asked myself 4 years ago where I thought I was going to be, I would never have said Florida. Never in a million years been like, oh, I'll probably be in Florida. But, here I am doing all these crazy things. And I don't think you would ever thought you'd be in college. I don't think you were ever planning on going, from what I remember.
No. No, especially not being in, like, a super math-oriented fucking program right now.
So, yeah, it's interesting how we've all changed and where that's led us. I guess so. We have time for, like, one more question. I'll let you go. I've asked more questions lately.
Yeah, you've been firing off like a goddamn
I know
jackhammer here of these questions.
They call me Jackhammer.
Let me ask
Fire
you
Offer. My dad jokes are getting way worse than they used to be. Sorry, continue.
Let me ask you. I just want to ask. Maybe this is more of a question about the future. We'll end off with that. Where do you want to be with your music, and maybe even just what you went to school for, using your degree or whatever down in Florida? Where do you want to be in, like, the next 2 or 3 years or whatever your goal is for yourself? Where do you hope to see yourself?
Man. I think the scariest question I've thought about recently is where do I see myself in any amount of years? Just because, like, it's so uncertain, and right now I'm at a really crossroads of, like, what I want to do with my life. Because I've had to do some really shitty jobs lately just to make ends meet. And no, that does not mean, sucking dick in the corners of Florida, but they were pretty shitty. So, let's just say 3 years, I'd like to have my EP released for sure. And it be, in my mind, as perfect as possible and on my way to writing my next record. I would also like to see myself working in a post house on film. I think that would be just phenomenal because it pays really well. It's really fun work. I get to help make movies. I think that's really cool. And if not that, I would like to be working in a studio, with musicians. And even kind of, I didn't go to school to be a producer, but I really feel like I have a lot of the producing skills that I see my friend have that he has from going to school for doing it. Like, we have a lot of similar ideas, and so I didn't go to school for it, but I really feel like I could be a pretty good producer as well. So yeah, hopefully I'm just in a situation where I am an up-and-comer in my career path, and I've accomplished a few things, such as my EP and maybe other things, maybe working on other friends' records. because I actually do play music with two other really good friends of mine, Doug and Rob, and we have a band that we regretfully named the Pre-Openers, to spite one of my friends that was saying, he's like, well, if I go on tour, I can't take you guys with. And we're like, why? He's like, because I'll probably be the opener. And I'm like, that's fine. We'll be the pre-openers. And so it's stuck. So, yeah, it was, that's where I hope to see myself, and hopefully kind of working on also having maybe a family at that time. Not like have a kid or two, but like, be in a relationship where I could see myself leading into that lifestyle.
You get the dog, you get the girl.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be a nice step forward. It's just weird seeing so many people I know already in that area of life, and not saying that, like, I do think it's a little early at our age, but I also really want to be that one day. Like, when I'm 27 or something, I'd love to have a kid myself. So like 5 years, but I'd also want to be established. I've also want to have a career that I know I've grown from, and I make money. Money would be nice to have for sure. I'd actually like to win the lottery in the next 3 years and do nothing with my life. That's my choice B. What about you, though?
That sounds horrible.
That's actually an excellent question. I'm curious.
Oh, let's see here. Well, I'd like to be making some sort of decent, comfortable money with some graphic design stuff. That would be really cool. Maybe be done with school, have a degree, and as like a plan B kind of thing. Maybe have like a full length album out, like a whole concept album would be fucking cool to have released. Those are my demands. Nothing too complicated.
Nothing too complicated.
I try to take things kind of slow.
The American dream.
Right.
Let's see. Do I have any more follow-up questions? Real quick. Okay. Man, I really don't. I have a request, though. So, We're recording this through Skype. And then I have a lovely picture of myself. And every time I look at my computer, I expect to see a picture of Darby L. Larson. Instead, I see a picture of Gene Simmons. Staring at me.
Richard Simmons.
Shit. I see a picture of Richard Simmons staring at me with the dreamiest of smiles, and I must say it freaks me the fuck out. So my request is that Darby changes his picture to himself, which I know he won't, and he'll change it to something more sarcastic than Richard Simmons. Maybe a picture of Gene Simmons, actually.
Just take a screenshot of your Richard Simmons.
All right.
What you're looking at right now. Take a screenshot for everyone.
I took a screenshot right now, so it'll be. I'll make sure to link it. Okay, so with that being said, this marks episode 0. Like I said, the podcast's whole goal is to take a friend from each friend group and kind of interview them and pick their brains like we have been each other, except next week we will be the one asking the questions, and they probably, I don't know, they might ask questions, but the whole idea is kind of like getting to know that person. So I believe Darby has an idea for who he would like to bring in next time. Who would that be, Darby?
Right. I don't want to say because nothing's set in stone yet, but we'll see. I got a buddy here that might want to do it, so.
Okay, cool. I also have a friend, so if his falls through, I have someone in the corner. I have actually never even mentioned this to him, but I'll make him do it because, I have that power. So that marks our episode 0 of the podcast. I thank you for actually, if you have listened to it all the way through, it's very impressive, and I thank you very much. If not, you probably have seen, I'm going to cut some of these up and put them on YouTube, but what I thought were the most interesting moments and segments throughout the podcast. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. So Darby, thank you very much for being my co-host in this adventure.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're going to have you.
As your co-host.
It's
been fun.
You're going to be the co-host from now on, and also you're...
Wait, I'm doing more than one of
yeah,
these?
you're doing every single one.
I'm just kidding.
And if you and you're also abided by contract. You don't remember signing it, but
fuck.
like it did happen. So if you back out on me, legal issues will ensue. So, all right. Thank
Shit.
you for everyone for listening. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful day.